Something that eternally impacted how I view girls is when I recognized that something incredibly interesting was happening during encounters with them at the time, and I couldn't exactly put my finger on it. But it always seemed to happen immediately before they would lose interest, and what I realized over time was that I was being tested, and whether or not I was being chosen over another guy was being determined precisely by how I handled these tests. Now, one of the most fundamental components of attraction between males and females is the need for girls to test the strength or the confidence or whatever you want to call it of guys that they are interested in. But they are testing for more than just strength and assurance. There are other things, and much of this testing happens when you first meet a female, or during the first few moments of a conversation. So how we handle these tests is crucial. So, with that said, let's get right into it. Number 1. Putting you down. One of the fastest ways to get somebody to crack whether they are male or female is to simply insult them. In fact, a girl can find out almost instantly if a man has low or high self-esteem based on how he reacts to an insult. Now, the aim of an insult is to just draw a reaction out of you, and it's the way that you react that sub-signals to the lady whether or not you have high or low self-esteem or whether or not you fail to pass the test. Men with low self-esteem will typically fail the test because they react negatively to insults by becoming irate, resentful, or cold. Now, on the surface it might just feel like she's insulting you. However, what she's really doing is putting you to the test to see how you react. If a girl makes fun of you and you react negatively or angrily, you may need some reassurance. What you're unknowingly sub-communicating to her is that you care too much what she thinks about you. This will always be a recipe for failure. Now, all of the females want to choose a man who has a high degree of self-esteem, and if they think too highly of her opinion of you, this will come out via resentment or defensiveness. When you get tested with an insult, now imagine you're with a girl and several other guys, and all the other guys are able to bench a certain amount of weight. However, when it's your turn, you are unable to do so, and the girl makes fun of you by saying that you are too frail to lift the weight. If you were to get mad and defensive after being flung by this insult, you would fail this test. But if you play it cool, and you make a joke about the insult, or if you're able to show indifference in some other way, then you would pass the test. Number 2. Putting on a tough act. One of the sneakiest ways that girls test you is by playing hard to get or by pulling away. A long time ago, I was communicating with a girl on Facebook. She was the one who initially messaged me, and when we first spoke, she expressed a lot of interest and flirted with me. However, suddenly, she began to communicate with me less and less, indicating that she was withdrawing. The main goal of this test was to determine how invested I was in the relationship rather than my level of confidence or self-esteem. Typically, desperate men behave in desperate ways. So if a girl expresses interest in them and then pulls away unexpectedly, they will react by overly pursuing the girl, which takes the form of behaviors like aggressively texting her back on Facebook or making way too many calls to her phone. In other words, she wants to test if when she pulls away you will chase after her. If you viewed any other videos on this channel, something that we never do is chase girls. When a girl pulls away and you pursue her, you are essentially subtly telling her that you are worthless, that you have no other options, and that your life is empty. That keeps you occupied enough that you don't pursue her. It's easy to pass this test when a girl pulls away, whether it's in a text message or in real life. All you have to do is never pursue her. When girls leave your hands, it may seem as though they are pulling further and further away, but if you don't pursue them, they will eventually come right back to you. Number 3. Becoming cold. One of the sneakiest techniques. Girls can put a guy to the test by turning chilly when he least expects it. A girl I once liked used to act as though I was the most amazing thing she had ever laid eyes on. But an hour or so later, her attitude abruptly changed and she stopped being friendly, talkative, and warm, basically behaving like I ate her last chicken wing. I had no reason to believe that what I had done had affected her mood, and in reality, I had not. The reason that she went cold on me was to see if it had any impact on me. If a girl goes cold on you, she is once again testing you to see how high you hold her opinion of you. You must realize that men who are desperate and in need often place the opinions of others far above their own in terms of importance. She will know that you value her opinion if she is able to make you feel badly by going cold on you. And if something as simple as a girl suddenly changing her mind about you has the power to change your perspective or reveal your mental fragility, then how could you possibly handle all the challenging situations that men generally have to deal with in life? When a girl goes cold on a guy who is considered low value, he will react in a negative way instead of shrugging it off and demonstrating that nothing that she says or does really has much of an impact on him either way. Therefore, if you pass this test, you will be classified as a man with great value and strong self-esteem, which is exactly where you want to be. You already know which category you'll be put into if you don't pass this test. Number 4. The enviousness test. The jealousy test is by far one of the hardest tests for men to pass, but it's also one of the most crucial ones. Imagine a girl you like who, when you two are alone, acts warmly toward you and even flirts a little with you. But when the two of you are around other men, she flirts a little with them and acts like you are nowhere near as important as you are. When you're alone with her, don't be fooled. Girls know exactly what they are doing, and they are highly aware of everything that is said, why it is said, and the massive undertone of things that are going on during any given situation. Therefore, what typically happens in this kind of test is that a female likes you, but tests you to see whether she really likes you by acting too friendly or even flirting toward other men in an effort to make you feel envious. Most people who are put in a low-value basket will react jealously. They will react similarly to other tests, which is very negative when they test you out of jealousy. The girl will keep a careful eye on you to see whether you become triggered. If she succeeds in doing so and you respond very negatively, you will fail the test, as is the case with the majority of previous tests. The best course of action is to remain unaffected or show that what she says or does actually has no bearing on you. When she realizes this, paradoxically, it will make her like you even more. If the other guys she's using to make you envious are more susceptible to her charms than you are. Number 5. Influencing you to compromise your morals. I saved one of the sneakiest and most important tests for last because it is easily one of the most important tests that you can understand, and it goes a little something like this. Something that we as men are known for is our word. So, if we say we're going to do something, we have to follow through on that promise. But this rule also applies to our beliefs. Imagine that one of your friends holds the opinion that it is never appropriate to make advances to a man's girlfriend who is one of his own friends. The next time he is around your girlfriend and you catch him flirting with her right away, you will probably lose all respect for him because he couldn't keep his word. And if a man can't keep his word, then he can't be trusted. However, as men ourselves, we are supposed to be able to trust his word or his beliefs about this. Now the problem here is not that he is flirting with her in and of itself. Females instinctively know when a man is breaking his word. Just as you wouldn't be able to trust your friend after you caught him doing that because you know that he supposedly believes that it is wrong to do this but was doing it anyhow. Being true to yourself or holding true to your values and beliefs no matter what is an incredibly important and seductive trait you can have. A man who is easily swayed in the direction she desires is simply untrustworthy to a girl. Whether we realize it or not, girls pay close attention to things like our values or things we say we will never do. If they are able to persuade us to compromise our values, who we are, or what we believe in just to make them happy, they will lose respect and attraction for us each time we fail this test. For example, imagine telling a girl that because of your values, you are solid or not easily moved. She may present it as selfish behavior while she is testing you. To cover up the fact that she doesn't really feel these ways about you, she can claim that you never want to do whatever she wants you to do. She only wants to see if you will keep your word or if you will adhere to your values and beliefs, such as not eating Chipotle, in order to determine whether you are trustworthy. Regardless of what she does or says to you, if you remain true to yourself and your word, no matter how much she gripes or how horrible the things she says to you are, you will undoubtedly pass this test. But if you give in or if you compromise your values or your standards or your beliefs just to make her happy, then you will fail this test. These are 5 hidden ways that females will test a man that they like, and the way that you respond to them can allow you to grow and become a far more attractive and insanely more valuable man.